In this video, guys, we are going to look at 6 biggest time wasters for traders. Stick around. Hey traders, warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so 6 biggest time wasters for traders. Let's not waste your time by rambling on here. Let's get straight to the point. Number 1, social media. Now I know there's a bit of irony here, me on your YouTube saying, hey, be careful about social media. But I think it's how intentional you are with it. If you're on, let's say you've segmented out a 90-minute window or whatever it may be and say, I am going on YouTube, I'm gonna look at my favorite channels. There's some people who I like their information, I like all of it. I take bits that I like and I will learn from that and I will put it in my kind of educational segment of my brain and move on from there. I think that's the right way to use social media. Now, a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this before, guys, before I've really stamped this out, you can go down rabbit holes of stuff that you're just drawn to with no real direction. So maybe you go on YouTube and you kind of maybe got a mixture of different things that you like to watch, generally different themes and stuff. Maybe you're into cars, maybe you're into pool builds or nice houses or whatever it may be, gym stuff, I don't know, whatever your kind of other hobbies are, and trading sits in there. The danger we have is that YouTube will send us down all sorts of different rabbit holes. Now, even if we stick to the trading rabbit hole, or trading journey, should I say, you end up going on to the recommended videos on the sidebar or up next to whatever it may be, and you go down and look at things that you weren't interested in. You're kind of curious about. It's like someone talks about some options trading strategy. That's interesting, and you get sucked into it. But it's not where you wanted to learn. It's not the whole point of going on there. Now, I know that if sometimes you learn stuff you don't set out to learn, you might be, let's say you're on my channel, for example. You're on the channel and you're going, right, I'm going to watch some sort of videos of Mark's put out on this, and this, and then you see some pop up, it says talking about the volume weighted average price or using the tick index or something that you hadn't heard of, you weren't aware of, and you learn from that. That's okay, but it's intentionally doing it. And it's the same with, I think be careful of Facebook, be careful of Instagram, be careful of all that other stuff, because it's there to draw your attention and distract you. So intentional use of it, I think, is fine. Set a segment of time while you're going on there. And by the way, if you're going on there to entertain yourself, again, that's fine. I'm not saying that for fun. If you say, hey, I'm going to go on there, I'm going to entertain myself for 30 minutes, there's my time limit, that's fine. It's the intentional use. It's the unintentional use that distracts you. So be very, very careful with that and waste your time. Number 2 is news. If you are, put it this way, guys, I don't think, and it's personal preference, I don't think there's any edge to be had trading from news. I don't think we have an edge as a retail trader. There's far quicker people who can react to the news quicker than we can, can interpret it better than we can. I think there's a trade potentially that comes from the subsequent movement in price after news, sometimes, that there's an opportunity for a retail trader. So it's really market moving news, and it moves and it shifts the market. You can jump on that in a momentum ignition type play or trade exhaustion, etc., etc. But I don't think watching news does anything other than anchor your bias to the story and the narrative that they're telling you, financial news, etc. So watch out for that. Number 3, browsing the internet. It's too easy when you're sitting there, you've traded, the market's gone quiet, to start browsing the internet. You're on Amazon, you're on this, you're on that and the other. Maybe you're on questionable websites. Don't do that in the trading hours as well, guys. Just be careful and be very restrictive about what you're doing. Have a trading machine, and again, intentional. If you say to yourself, hey, I've got a 2-hour break now, the market's gone quiet, I'm coming back in the afternoon, by all means, do whatever you want those 2 hours. Those are your 2 hours. But the point is, if you're wasting time and getting distracted doing other stuff in the trading hours, you're not pursuing, you're not moving things forward. You're not looking at your trades. You're not looking for other ideas. You're not this. You're not doing that. You're not whatever it is that's working or trading. You're getting distracted, and all you're really doing in working or trading is when you're actually clicking the button. So be careful of browsing the internet. And like I say, have a dedicated machine. And if you need to, I know you can't sometimes because the brokers are on that. On the web browsers, but you could put some software in that just blocks everything except your web browser, except your broker's login, and maybe TradingView or whatever chart package you use, and just have it as a pure machine that's used just for trading, and then you're not distracted and easily kind of sucked into browsing whatever you're going to be browsing. Number 4, forums/groups. Now, forums on and off, never really very active in them, but I know the big forums. I've gone on there from time to time. But this tends to happen. Someone comes on and starts to share information about, their trading. They say, hey, I've found this little thing that's working well for me, etc., etc. And he starts to share bits and pieces, he or she. And then all of a sudden, there's a load of negativity coming on. You can't do it that way. It's not possible to do it like that. that's been tried before and you can't do this, and they just end up disappearing. Because why bother fighting on a forum when they're off doing okay with their trading? And I see this time and time and time again. It's just literally run. And again, I'm not looking at pointing fingers at specific forums. There are good aspects to forums, but just be mindful that generally speaking, allow enough people are spending all this time on forums, saying all this kind of stuff, and there's lots of negativity there. It doesn't really help you. But the point is going on to these public Facebook groups, public stuff, there's no real filter, so you just got to be careful you're not wasting time. If you're going on there to find some specific information, fine, but just be careful you're not bogged down by the negativity on that. And number 5, errands and chores. So if you're trading from home, many people are trading from home office, there's always something to do. Like, I just forgot to, I don't know, put that in the washing machine, for example, just something really random. Put that in the washing machine. I need to, forgot to tidy this thing up. I've got to do this. I've got to send this letter off. I've got to, some admin stuff this life happens. I've got to contact the DVLA about my car. I've got to speak to the insurance company. I've got to return stuff that's not related to trading. Especially when you're at home, it's perhaps always something to do. Hey, mow the lawn, do this, do that, get the other, do this, the other. That's easy to be distracted because you feel like you're sitting there, especially if you're not in trade. You're like, hey, I need to mow the lawn, whatever this may be. You say you're mowing your own lawn, right? I need to mow the lawn, and it's sitting there. And you feel like it's something to do, and you feel like there's nothing else to do in the market. I'll go and get distracted by this, and it's a bit of a time waster. Again, if you're doing it intentionally, it's different. But if you're doing all these chores and different things around the house, you're not focused on the job in hand. Now, fine, if there's set time for it, again, intentionality is the theme through all this, that's okay. But if you're getting distracted and doing all these chores or whatever it may be, tasks and lists you've got to do around the home, then you're just getting distracted and it's wasting time from the job. Number 6 is pouring through charts. In other words, I think this is a time waster, guys. I'm gonna go out there and say, I think that if you're scanning, as constantly screening through, ripping through charts after chart after chart after chart with no real focus, that's a waste of time. Some people may disagree with me, that's fine. If it works for you, that's fine. But I just think as many traders, and I've fallen into this trap and it didn't work for me, of actually so many charts and just going through them all, trying to find a chart that's working. Number one, I don't think that's a good strategy in itself to be scanning through stuff and just suddenly get it. I think we should be smarter in that. You should be able to use filters, you should be able to use technology to bring the best ideas to you and then go through it. But if you're spending hours going through charts, I don't think that's working smart, and I feel that's a time waster. Some of you may disagree with that, that's fine. But again, personal opinion on this and just what works for me. So 6 biggest time wasters for traders. What would you add as a 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th? Let me know in the comment section below. Take care. Bye-bye.